Misty, good to see you. So does Harry have an uphill battle here? Does he need proof? Does he need evidence?
Well, he absolutely needs proof and evidence in order to prevail because, remember, he's the one bringing the case. So there's a little bit of a difference between the legal system and the United Kingdom and the United States. However, the standard of proof in a civil case is very similar. In the United States, it's called preponderance of the evidence. In the United Kingdom, it's called balance of probabilities. So that means it's more likely than not the defendant, in this case, the Mir Group, engaged in this conduct. But what's more shocking is that we have a royal on the stand under cross-examination. And the way that the legal system plays out in the United Kingdom, you're not allowed to prepare your witnesses. So this is the first time that he's actually verbally telling his story, and it's under the guise of an intense cross-examination. So this is really a landmark case as far as the press and the royals are concerned.
And what is Prince Harry after here, right? What's the ultimate goal?
Well, it's funny you say that because one of the defenses is that he has a vendetta against the press, and it's been a long-standing vendetta. And he and Meghan Markle and many have spoken out about the press. So the defense is that he doesn't really know anything about whether or not this information was hacked, whether or not it was obtained illegally. He's just going after a personal vendetta. Look, there's money if he's victorious. There could be money. Is that his goal? I would think that it's more personal. And I say that based on what we know about the testimony that came out yesterday. It seems that he was very, very moved, emotional by, of course, the past and the history of the royals with the media.
Right. And a lot of those emotions detailed in his book Spare, which I'm partway through, and he makes several revelations. I'm wondering if one of those comes back to bite him. So there's another court case. This is in the U.S. that could potentially cause some trouble. The Heritage Foundation has filed a lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security to see if they were correct to allow Prince Harry to apply for his American visa because in his book he admitted to doing drugs. What do you make of this?
Oh, my gosh. Well, this is why, as an attorney, we always say less is more. Whatever you put out there in the media, that is fair game. That becomes public knowledge. It's no longer something that needs to be obtained through the legal process, through discovery. It's there, and it can open up the door to other questions, to requests for more documents, to requests for testimony, to requests made that will be under oath. So it certainly gives an avenue for the U.S. government to take an action, whether or not that was something that was just published, was it exaggerated, whatever it might be, there will be a legal battle. And look, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot putting out some of that information because it can lead to more scrutiny and more discoverable information that could ultimately be relevant in this type of proceeding.
And once again, putting him back in the public eye, which is a place he says he doesn't want to be. All right, it's interesting. Misty Marris, as always, appreciate your perspective. Thank you for watching. Go to NewsNationNow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.